Welcome back to Stay One Up, where we always stay one up and never two down. Today we have Tasha Jay, songwriter, singer, recording artist out here in Dallas, Texas. What's up?
What's up, guys? Hey.
Why you acting shy, Jay?
No, I just
wake up, we is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Look, that was dry too.
It's all good. So you're here on Stay One Up. You know, you out here in Dallas, Texas, doing your music. You was born in Houston, raised in Austin. You've been all over the major cities in Texas. How you feel so far? Like, have you been inspired by each city you've come from, or what's up?
I like Dallas. Like, of course, I grew up in Austin. Spent like 14 years there, so like that's my home city, and I love it. But when I graduated college, I moved out to Dallas, and honestly, that's like my little home now. So I like it. It's inspired me to do a lot. It's inspired me to start my music career. So I guess I can call it semi-home.
Yeah.
Always gonna support Austin though.
So I love me some Houston music.
Oh yeah.
Right. Sure. Where do you pull your inspiration from when it comes down to music? Because you know you can kind of tell if it's Dallas music. You know, you can tell if it's Houston music. You know, and Austin. You know, they have their own twang to it too. So where do you pull from the most?
I would say, I mean, I kind of pull from all three. Like, I mean, Austin inspires my music, but like I said, I moved out here to Dallas, and then I started really pursuing my music career. So a lot of it just comes from the environments I'm in, situations I'm in. But I'd say I pull from Dallas a lot. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So currently, right now, you are in a competition right now. And where did you go again for this competition?
I just went to Atlanta about 2 weeks ago, and this is for Too Hot Radio. They're like a big app.
Okay.
And they have a competition called Who Wants to Make It. So
okay.
This was the finals, and then there's the grand finale that's coming up in about 2 weeks. So I've been competing in that since January,
yeah.
And this is like the last step. So I just my anxiety has been on 1,000, like just finalizing this and getting to see what the results are.
So as a music artist, we talked about before we hit record, you talked about how, you know, promoting yourself on social media can only do so much, right? What other avenues are you looking into to help promote yourself?
I'm doing a lot. Like, I'm going to my nail salons. I take a heels class. There's center
heels
dance.
class,
like hip hop heels. My
okay.
girl Gina, I'm gonna go ahead and put her on. Center of Dance is in Richardson, and she does a hip hop heels class on Monday and Thursday nights.
Yeah.
So I'm there promoting myself. Anywhere I'm going, I'm also making videos, because sometimes people will scroll through your posts like nothing.
Right.
Just reaching out to everybody via text, via phone, just any avenue. Every day I come up with something new. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it at this point. So. Yeah.
No, it's really good. Honestly, I think we shy away from creativity as artists because we're like, this person did it better, you know? And a lot of times, even I'm a victim of like, I don't want to do this idea because I think it's stupid, but in reality, you see someone else there, you're like, damn, it didn't look stupid. Because at the end of the day, the first initial idea is always a little rough.
Right.
It is the blueprint. It can be a little stupid, exactly. But you work on it, you're like, damn, like, what do I do to do better, you know? So, and I applaud you for coming out with different avenues to market yourself continually. And I feel like since you are on a timeline and a time frame, you probably have to be like think creative every day.
Literally, this has been on my brain since I got back from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like I'm at home working my first job, thinking of stuff. I'm at the gym thinking of stuff. I'm at my other job thinking of stuff.
Yeah.
So like just any idea that I get, I'm like, is it possible? Is it doable? Is it something that I can do at ASAP? We're gonna run with it. So that's just kind of how I feel.
No, I really applaud you for that. So you recently just released a new track or new single. Yes. I apologize. It's called like SHH, y'all.
Yes.
I'm not switching, not shushing y'all. But no, so this song I listened to it, sounds great. Really talks about like a part of a past relationship, right? Yeah. We need those heartbreak songs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like those are the songs that just kind of always sing.
Exactly.
Because like even I'll be in the shower singing those 2000 heartbreak songs, and I'm not even heartbroken, but it just sounds so good all the time.
Yeah.
So when you're writing songs, or when you wrote this song right here, and you're channeling a real energy, you know, real emotions and stuff, how do you make that to where it's not revealing of your own personal situations?
I mean, there's two ways to songwriting. Sometimes, you know, you feel comfortable enough to just put your exact situation on the line. Now, I'm not saying it's word for word or whatnot, But I mean, sometimes it can be straightforward, like this is my story in the song, or it could be like a fantasy of a situation that happens. So it just depends on how creative you're getting, like the vibe you're going for, the music that you're, dealing with. There's a lot that goes into like which avenue you want to go down, or which road you want to go down with the song that you have, or what you're writing. So
no, and that's really good, because I think even as a poet, we put raw energy on paper. That's your first draft, and either you want to rock with it or you don't. And I learned this about social media. I think right now, currently social media, we are all scared to speak rawly about how we really feel about things. I've learned that even like going through like a grieving process of life, when you rawly speak out loud, people kind of can semi-look down on that. But also, one thing I've also learned is that like people kind of like use social media as to reach out to people to talk to, because sometimes it's not that your inner circle ain't there for you. Sometimes your inner circle's tired of it, and they just be like, yo, just do better already, just feel better. And it's like, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
So social media has a lot to persuade us to rock differently, and that's why nowadays it's just really good just to be who you are and who you are unapologetically.
That part.
So when you wrote this song about a previous whatever, do you think the previous situation, do you think they just feel some type of way about, like, what do you think they feel when they hear this?
It's funny because the specific individual that this song was enthused by wasn't as responsive as other past situations. Like, I got people like, oh my gosh, I feel attacked. And I'm like, oh, this wasn't even written for you. But I don't know. I mean, I don't have no bad blood with anybody. So this was just written out of emotion, if that makes sense. And at first I was like, oh girl, don't put this out. Like, you're gonna embarrass yourself, right? Yeah. And then about 2 or 3 years later, I put it to some music and I was like, no, we finna do this. Yeah. So I have no idea. Maybe they feel a type of way because it's very descriptive. But I mean, it was written, to make
years
people bob
after,
their heads.
right.
Yeah, and like I said, it was years after. So that's already a sales shit.
That the single itself has a good outcome,
Yeah.
It's really like I guess a female power type of ordeal,
and that's more of the idea I was going
even
for.
The music video is like having your girls behind you and you guys just having a good time, even though you might be going through a tough situation. Like, it plays a good story,
right.
And honestly, life situations make good music. You hear about all these songs, and I've learned this about songwriters and music artists, is that sometimes they play into a fantasy. And so I've had people who write about things, I'm like, did this really happen? But it's a fantasy world that you put your mindset in, and it ain't real, and that's why it makes me understand music differently, because when I hear music, I hear about people talking about like money, like gang related stuff and all this stuff, and it's like, why would you put that out there? But then you have people who write about other things, and you look at them and you know them in person, you're like, they ain't doing that, but it's also a fantasy, which is something that I never understood about music, because I thought you always write about what's real.
Yeah, you just have to turn yourself up sometimes. That's really all it is. So you got to relate with everybody. Yeah. So your situation, somebody might not have gone through, but also you have to be creative. And even like the rappers and what they write about, like, all in the club bobbing our heads to it. So you have to think about, you just have to be creative. You have to think about your audience and where you want it to be, who you want it to relate to, who you want to grab in as your fan base. There's a lot that goes into it. So sometimes you may be on the islands and you're really in Texas. Yeah. So
hey, wherever your mind takes you, right?
Yeah.
So you got the single, you got the music video out, you're in this competition. What's next after all of this?
So I've really been trying to buckle down, get back in the studio, release maybe another single, something, just get back in my inner me. So that's definitely next. Once we get through this competition, I'm gonna be recording something new for sure to get out in this fourth quarter.
So where do you pull your inspiration from? I guess I see it as like people going on a hiatus. Sometimes you get caught up in other things in life that music writing is put on pause. How do you pull inspiration back into the music writing mode, or
I mean, you kind of have to give yourself a blueprint. And I still write, like, you get certain urges maybe in the car, you on your way somewhere. I still have somebody that I'm working with that sends me beats, so I'm still writing to that. Just kind of depends. Like, I'll be in the car and I'll have a thought and I'll be like, let me turn this beat on real quick. Or you might be literally in bed, in the shower. There's so many places you could be and just kind of be like, oh, let me put that down. Or you can have like a planned moment. Oh, hey, I need to start writing something, getting something ready. When you put yourself on like a deadline, not necessarily a deadline, but like an estimated deadline, that kind of gives you the motive to be proactive and start getting your stuff together.
Yeah. So when it comes down to, I guess, getting into gear music, is there a method to your madness? Do you have is there a plan, or is it kind of just one thing at a time ordeal?
It used to be one thing at a time when I first started, because I was, you have to be real with yourself. So when I first started really recording and saying, hey, I'm gonna get my stuff out there, I'm gonna put myself on portals and stuff of that sort, I was like, all right, like, this is it. And so it was just really step by step. I'm like, okay, let's try this project, and just projects on projects. But then I'm like, at this point, like I've built my career, I've built the foundation of my career, so now it's time to just build myself back up. So now it's more of like a guideline, like in this year I want to do this. You always have your single, and then you'll have your EP or album, depends on you. And then you don't want people to get bored or forget about you.
Right.
So you have to stay relevant. So just for me, it's just project every month, whether it's promoting myself with this competition, or it's working on a single, or hey guys, I'm finna release an EP.
Right.
So and then even that, if it's not even my music, hey, just put out a cover video.
Yeah.
Keep their interest. So there's a lot. You gotta keep yourself relevant. Like,
I love how you just keep thinking about things. So going to Atlanta for this competition, were you really nervous about it?
I wasn't like that, and that's crazy for me. Like, my friends know I'm super shy, and it's so backwards for me to want to be a musician on stage in front of people. Okay. And I've grown out of that over the years, but still, like, I get kind of like, I just get in that, oh God, what are they gonna think? Like, yeah. So, but for this time, for once, I had a dance instructor that got me ready for stage, because sometimes, you get kind of stuck in that mode, but I wasn't nervous. Like, I got maybe a little like, oh my God, when they gave me the mic to go on, but normally I like psych myself out before I even go on stage. It wasn't like that. I was just more excited for the opportunity. This is a big deal for me, and it could be something that pivots my music career completely. Yeah. So I actually enjoyed myself, had a good time.
That's good. So being out there, being in a whole different city performing, did you feel the love too?
That environment that they set us up in, we had like it was like a studio, kind of in some green rooms, and so there's people that had just performed or were about to perform. They weren't dead dry, so that was nice. Like, I mean, I'm talking to them, they talking back, so it was a good environment. That's honestly good. Like, they're responsive. The judges were there, they were responsive. The girl that was playing my music was bobbing her head, so I'm like, all right, I think I'm good.
Do you feed off of that energy when you see that in the room?
Absolutely. So like me, if I look at you and I'm paying across the room and you're just staring me dead in my eyes, I'm like, oh my God, like freaking out. So yeah, I definitely feed off the energy in the room, but I also know that I myself have to turn up the room too. So, yeah.
So people who, I guess, vote for this competition, or how does this work? I guess, how do you move on up and like win this competition?
So now, at this point, there's a top 100. They're going to pick 2 people. The first person will be the person who has the most points, and they get all expenses paid to the finale. Okay. The second person will be most talented, but that could be anybody out of these hundreds. So if you sit back and kind of just rely on that, you get your feelings hurt. Yeah. So at this point, right now, up until July 9th, I believe it's Friday. Yeah. You can buy sponsor tickets, and that's not to go to anything. It's just sponsoring me. And each ticket is $2, and each ticket adds 10 points to my total score. So like people are sending me like $20, and that just adds. I can't even do the math right now, but that adds to my score. Yeah. So as of this morning, they send us updates every morning. I am in 11th place. Okay. Now I dropped. So today I'm like all over everybody. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, vote for me. Yeah. So now it's just, honestly, my goal is to get me to number 1 so that I can, the prize is a feature with Boosie, a record deal, and $10K in cash. So, wow. Yeah, okay, cool, cash, whatever. But for a musician, a feature with Boosie, that's a big deal. Yeah. And then a recording deal, that right there seals the career that you've been working on and putting your money into. Yeah. So right now, this is like I said, this is going through my brain 24/7. Yeah. Like, I'm not even sleeping. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do next? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm really proud of you, and I really hope this competition turns out well for you.
Thank you.
Where can they follow you on social media?
So follow me on Instagram _JAY Nation. Also on Facebook, it's Tasha Jay, just one Y. Those are my 2 biggest platforms. I have email at TashaJMusic@gmail.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on everything. Okay, I'm on Snapchat. That's Tasha Mac with 3 Ks. And yeah.
So before we end this interview, I want you to look at that camera over there, and I want you to tell the listeners and audience how can they stay one up every day of their lives.
Just be unapologetic, 100, and stay true to yourself every single day. Every single day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, thank you for listening to Stay One Up. I want to thank you for the Compound Studio event space for letting us record here. You guys check them out. They're out here in Dallas. You know what the motto is: stay one up, never two down. You guys, peace.